By far the hottest debate currently going on in the Melee community is about who should be ranked and seated second for the year, Hungrybox or Mango. Within this video, I'm going to present to you all of the data for both players from this year so that you can come to an informed conclusion about who you think should be second and why that is. This does not, however, mean that I'm going to shy away from the question and not give my own answer, but supplying the community with all the current facts in one convenient location is the main purpose of this video. And before we jump to this data, I want to remind you that this video is brought to you by the fantastic people over at Smash Crate, who I'll talk about more at the end of the video. The first angle we're going to look at this debate from is what placings both players obtained at events that they both attended. These stats don't factor in how large or prestigious the event was, or who a player had to beat to reach each placing, so remember to keep this in mind. Hungrybox has one more first placing than Mango and also does not have any placing lower than 4th place, whereas Mango's lowest placing is 9th. The two players also tied in who has outplaced who at events, with each having the edge at 4 tournaments each. When we average these placings out, Hungrybox has an almost 2-place lead over Mango. But when we remove Mango's 2 outlier tournaments, Summit and Smash Rivals, the difference between his and Hungrybox's placing shrinks dramatically. This number obviously helps Mango significantly, so a more even ground would be to drop both players' 2 lowest losses, which widens the space between the two. Something significant to note before we move on to the next dataset is that while these are the only tournaments Mango has attended this year, Hungrybox has attended and won other tournaments such as Tampa Never Sleeps and Frame Perfect, which we'll actually be discussing in the next section. This next section will be looking at the peaks of each player and who they had to beat to achieve these peaks. They are sorted first by placing and then by the level of the player that was beaten to achieve such placing. Furthermore, victories versus players ranked 25 or above are highlighted for each event. First, let's look at Mango's top 5 performances. His top would easily be his first place finish at Royal Flush, where he took 2 sets off Armada in Grand Finals to win the tournament. Next would be his other first place finish at Super Smash Con, where he did not suffer a single loss and double eliminated Mewtwo King. Following that would be his second place finish at Genesis 4, where he took 3 sets off Gods and a set off Leffen and Wizrobe to ultimately be double eliminated by Armada. Then would be his lesser second place performance at EVO, where he's double eliminated by Armada again. Last would be his 4th place showing at DreamHack Austin, where he did beat Wizzy and Leffen, but suffered losses to Chew and Mewtwo King that knocked him out of the event. Now let's take a look at Hungrybox's top wins. Hungrybox has had a handful of first place finishes this year, but his most impressive one was at Smash and Splash, where he beat Armada, Mango, and Leffen and only dropped 1 set to Leffen and Grands. Following that would be his win at DreamHack Austin, where he did not drop a single set and took sets off of Pluff, Chew, Wizzy, and Shroomed on his way to first place. Next we have his first place finish at Smash Rivals, where he was able to win without having to face either of the 2 gods in attendance because of their poor performances. After we have 2 tournaments that I've slotted in the same spot because he took impressive wins over Mewtwo King at both of them, but he did not defeat anyone else of note at either of these events besides the Moon. Last we have his only 2nd place finish on the list at Smash Summit, where he took sets off Mewtwo King and Leffen, only to be double eliminated by Armada. The observation that I would want to point out from this data is that while Hungrybox has had many more higher placings, Mango's peaks are generally from stronger events than Hungrybox's. For example, some could consider Mango's 2nd place finish at Genesis 4 stronger than HBox's 1st place finish at DreamHack Austin, because Mango had to defeat much tougher players to reach 2nd place than Hungrybox had to defeat to reach 1st. But then this argument could be countered by the opinion that some hold that winning a tournament is more important than who you beat to win a tournament. After checking out each player's peaks, let's switch it up and look at their lowest losses. Despite what you may have expected, Hungrybox technically does have worse losses this year than Mango, with his sets dropped to Lucky and Wizrobe. The argument I see for why people could say that Hungrybox's higher losses are excusable is because he has attended so many more events than Mango. There's also an argument to be made that Mango's losses to Chew are worse than his 7th place rank makes them to be. It could be said that his victories over Mango are a huge part of why he was ranked so high for the summer, which made Mango's losses not as bad, inflating his rank. This is also supported by the fact that Chewdat has not had an impressive performance since Battle of BC2. But much like when looking at average overall placing, when the dust settles, Hungrybox does have losses to lower ranked players than Mango. And last, let's take a look at each player's win rate against each of the top 10 to see how they stack up against the highest level of play. At first glance, this graph may be a little tough to follow, so let's look at where each player shines. Hungrybox has a strong win rate versus Plup, actually has taken a set off Chewdat this year, and has not lost to Axe. Mango has a stronger win rate against the other members of the top 10, and is also beating Hungrybox in the head-to-head win rate. And although Mango has better win rates against more top 10 players than Hungrybox, Hungrybox still has the better overall win rate versus the top 10 by about 5%. So then with all that on the table, I would love to hear who you think deserves the number 2 slot, and most importantly, why you think that is down in the comments. My opinion should have no weight to you, but I feel like making this entire video without saying who I think should have the 2nd seed is a bit cowardly, for a lack of a better term. So let me explain myself briefly. I think Mango deserves the second place spot. Although I value consistency over peaks, Hungrybox's consistent victories are not that impressive besides his run at Smash and Splash. He failed to outplace Mango at EVO and G4, which have been two of the biggest events this year. I also do think who you beat is more important than what placing you get, which pushes me more towards Mango. And what had kept me from thinking Mango over Hungrybox before was his losses being worse, but after looking into it, his losses are about the same as Hungrybox's. My short little opinion here is not nearly as in-depth and nuanced as I would want it to be, as that could take a whole video to explain, but it's my opinion nonetheless. And before we wrap up this video, I want to quickly talk about Smash Crate. It's hard to make it out to every single tournament that you want to with all the busyness that life can hand you sometimes, but Smash Crate is able to bring the tournament straight to your door. Smash Crate sends you a monthly crate of Smash memorabilia that is created by fellow Smashers and is tailored specifically to your preferences. So if you want to support artists within our community and an up-and-coming Smash-based business, Smash Crate is an easy choice. And if you follow the link down in the description and use the code Untitled, you can get 10% off your order that is applied at checkout. Yeah, so that's about it for the video. I feel like I learned a lot from the Leffen video about focusing on being not biased and making sure I present both sides of the story. So I hope that shows in this video. I really tried really hard to just make sure I got what I wanted to say and put it in the video the way I wanted to say it. So this probably is already a long video already, so I don't want to blather on too long, but I've been SaveAsUntitled, and I'll see you guys in the next video.